So have you heard of Point Crow?
I have not. I mean, you told me once about it.
About it. He's a person.
Or him, her, whatever.
He's a person, by
whoever.
the way. So he's a streamer, right? He has a Twitch channel and he does like YouTube VODs and stuff like that. But essentially, he's like a gamer, right? One thing that he did was in Tears of the Kingdom, which is the latest Legends of Zelda game. Uh, there was there's a mechanic in that you could cook things, right? You could cook different ingredients and just make some things so then you could recover your health and stuff like that. You technically don't need to in order to like beat the game or whatever, but that's a mechanic. It's also there in Breath of the Wild too, which is the predecessor too. But
I see.
Essentially, there is a recipe in Tears of the Kingdom for essentially cheese pizza, right? It has like Hatano cheese, which Hatano's a town. Tabantha wheat from like the Tabantha fields, and like Hylian tomatoes, which Hylia is like the country or whatever continent that all of Hyrule, is just kind of under Hylia, right? But what Point Crow did, what Eric did, was he ate like not Chipotle, but he ate like Taco Bell, like two supreme like things, and he drank like a Baja Blast. And his whole stream idea was, can I make a pizza in Tears of the Kingdom before giving birth? And what that was he eats all the stuff, and before he needs to give birth to his massive poop, his whole goal is to speedrun making a pizza in that game. And it's just
before he legitimately
shits himself on camera too, because it's a live stream.
Well,
it's very fun. I'm probably not doing well with explaining the. I mean, I'm explaining the premise all right, but like,
God,
you might not be getting the humor from just my explanation, my dialing it down.
I mean, there's people that they do blow fireworks in their house. There's people that do hot tub streams, but
yeah.
This is gonna take it to, I guess, a hot mess stream.
Which, by the end of it, to spoil it, he did make the pizza before he lost, so he technically won. But he was like, "I made the pizza. I'm going. I'm leaving. Bye."
Yep. That's something, I mean, sure, if they're getting paid for streaming, okay, great. But is it really worth making yourself shit?
I mean, it's a funny meme, and it's like, can I do this before can it's a part of speedrunning you'll find if you ever participate in speedrunning for any particular project. You can sometimes find meme categories where in Mario Odyssey there is a speedrun to be the first, the fastest person to get Mario to be shirtless, right? Because that's one of the outfits that's in the game.
Yeah.
You could pay like the shop and like it's like the boxer outfit or something. It's called nipple percent. So you're supposed to, get 1,000 coins or something as fast as you can, and the whole goal is just it ends whenever the nipple is shown. But of course, there's also the world of speedrunning where it's legitimate things where it's like, oh, minimum captures, any percent, 100%.
Yeah.
Just whatever side missions or whatever. A glitchless. So in the glitchless, it's like you don't go out of bounds, you don't do anything, unintended. You do everything intended. But there's, the any percent where you can clip out of things. with the Mario 64 with the BLJ up the infinite stairs to go
Yeah.
into it. In glitchless, that wouldn't be allowed because that's technically a
Well,
glitch. That's
it
a
it is a glitch.
exploit. Yeah, that's not meant. But
So,
dang,
and there's a topic right here.
there's a topic right there. You making noises in the middle of everything we do.
Mm.
Unless if I get you to magically take that freaking thing off your.
The dings are off.
Well,
It's off now.
sometimes it makes me want to take that thing off
You know what I'm gonna do?
and take that hammer off the wall and just go bang, bang,
Then
bang.
I will. Destruction of property. That's an arrest warrant right there.
You've destroyed things of mine before.
What? You're accidentally bending your phone?
Oh, you actually did scratch that a little bit, yeah. You've destroyed. You've broken my heart. No amount of health insurance will ever replenish my heart.
Oh God! But if there's anything, well, as of today, I mean, I did take my cat to the vet today.
Nice.
Yep, she went in the carrier actually fine.
Pretty smooth on it.
Yep, she got her blood tested today, so now she doesn't have to go back for another 3 more weeks.
And in the blood testing, they found out she was H per V positive.
Uh-oh.
Positive with PAW.
Well, at least she's an indoor cat.
She doesn't get much action outside.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I will say, before they did get fixed, let's just say they did have some Sweet Home Alabama before they got fixed.
All summer long?
Look, this is like, they weren't even a year old yet either.
So bestiality is and
but you know what? Well, but you know what? It's okay, but guess what? They're all good now. Except, well,
one's not.
Well, one is, well,
or maybe that one is the most good that you possibly can be, because finally escaped this putrid world, right?
And that putrid world for animals is what's called PETA. Because I do have a bit of a rant for them.
PETA?
Sorry.
The boss is here.
Oh, perfect. But,
PETA. Or are you talking about PETA from the Hunger Games series, right? Peter
nope.
Malark?
People, it's the animal group that which, hey, they claim they want to help out, but ethically, I literally just remembered what it stood for.
Come on, rant, do it.
They say they want to help animals, but guess what? They do more of euthanizing them than adopting out or anything.
A lot of times, products are being used on animals, like on the back of like a Neutrogena bottle. I think my mom has in the shower. Like it has PETA on it, which technically means it was tested on an animal, like an animal's fur.
Could have been a mice.
It could have been a mouse. It could have been a dog. It could have been a deer, for all I know. It could have been an elephant.
Or alpaca, whatever it's...
Whatever.
But
the fact of the matter is, yes, they are testing on animals, which there is... there is benefit and there is drawback to something.
There's
like
both.
It's a weird gray area where it's like...
Okay.
Yes, you want to make sure it's not going to kill a person before trying, but at the same time, it's like, who are you to choose when this one goes, when this one possibly gets sick because of the product you used on them?
Yeah, they've done a lot of worse than good, but I mean, animal testing. If it's mice, I mean, they're either pets or pests.
What does PETA stand for? Like the acronym.
If I can find it here,
I thought you had it in your head.
I did, but then I instantly lost it.
Is it because I took you down the PETA Malark or PETA Griffin?
That's right. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
Two for the ethical treatment of animals, which, okay, putting conditioner in someone in animal's fur, I'd say that's okay as long as it's not coated in like a steroid cream, which is gonna jack the mouse up or something, only to have it, get a heart attack at half of its lifespan, right? Um, I will say agencies like that are big. They're a big thing. It's like the FBI, CIA, anything.
Regardless of
NASA.
how much.
It's a big agency which, to kind of give benefit of the doubt, I'm going to say that not every sector of PETA is the problem. I would say it's the one or two sectors that are getting all the attention because they're doing, heinous things. I don't think a whole agency can be bad.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think a whole agency can be
good
inherently good either. Agencies are just in the middle. Somewhere.
There's been, I think there was a story of PETA just kidnapping like a pet dog.
Oh, it happens. Like
and
they call animal control, and the animal control is like, actually, we don't have enough room for you, so we'll just call this one. And then suddenly they have
the dog
magically the right to do that somehow with all the paperwork. But I mean, ethically, like, and morally, honestly, that topic is not a great one. You're taking somebody's pet that might happen to look like another one or something, but even then, it's like
even then
it's kind of weird. But inherently, I don't have a problem with animal testing in the proper environment.
Well, if it's done humanely.
Humanely, I mean, thinking about this, let's take this a step above PETA for a second.
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, right?
Let's take this past PETA for a second and make it P, right? People for the people
punch.
People enjoying the person, right?
Sure.
So talking about persons, if we tested things pretty much straight away on humans, who do we test them on? If there's a chance that it's going to kill somebody, if there's a chance that it's going to destroy somebody's genetic makeup, if it's going to destroy their reproductive, like a lot of people say, hey, let's test it on the prisoners because they're in there. Well, who's to say that they were in there the right way? Like they were wrongfully convicted.
Or how about
they genuinely could have changed their ways, or maybe they were in prison because they were selling illicit materials when they were 18, and now that they're 38, they're like, I really made a mistake. I want to atone for this. But because they sold this stuff, they have that label on them for the rest of their life.
Or even, how about just even being wrong?
Test them on that?
I don't know.
Like, a harmful, or an experimental drug doesn't have to be harmful, doesn't have to be safe. Just this unknown thing. Do we give a prisoner that pill?
If it's somebody who, people just don't care if they're like kicking the bucket, then
there is some sort of thing that you kind of insinuated with, like, if somebody's done with the world, let's just call it that. We don't have to use the big S word, the big S word, but if somebody doesn't want to get off from the edge of their personal cliff, right? And they want to go over, and they're fine signing up for experimental drug. They're fine signing away their rights in their life for maybe monetary value, maybe because they do have drug
I
tests.
mean,
They do have things where it's like drug trials or something where it's like you sign up, you sign a waiver, and it's like you can't sue us if you get injured, but you'll also get
it's gonna make,
paid a lot.
yeah.
It's not scummy
I
in the.
mean,
I don't think so. You can explain yourself after, but the reason why I don't think that type of thing is scummy is because a lot of times people are signing up for it willingly. They sign up knowing the amount of money they possibly can get if they survive the outcome. Now, what I can say if they only set up these clinics in poorer neighborhoods, they're kind of intentionally trying to get people in on something from a lower income, right? And it's like, well, that's their way to get out of, that's their way to get out of a potential poverty, stricken area is just the promise of, we'll give you $1,000 for taking this pill and telling us how you feel after.
yeah, well,
So
I mean,
there is scum there, but I mean, in a well established, controlled environment where you are giving people the choice to take this pill if they want to for a reward, then I don't think there's any problem with that. It's the background stuff that is possibly where some scum can lie.
I don't know.
You can explain your side.
Well, I mean, okay, sure, let's say, okay, they're willing to do it. But then the agency that is doing the testing may have, they're going to look bad for it because they're maybe preying on people who are literally considering the big S word.
They could be,
Because instead of trying to stop them from doing it and trying to give them help.
that's something, and at the risk of sounding like a complete knobhead, I'll I will be like a devil's advocate for this, for the other side. I don't, for the record, I do not believe this extreme. I don't agree with this extreme. But there is part of this discussion where it's, we have near 7 or 8 billion people in this world. We're only growing a lot and a lot. Many people believe that humanity will be humanity's downfall because we're taking up a lot of resources. We're, you know, taking away a lot of natural, actual good, like, species out there because we just need ivory from their tusks
Mm-hmm.
or a bunch of other things. We're only taking a lot and we're not giving the world a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because we have, a lot of people have the knowledge of plastic isn't really that great. It's not a great thing. It takes a lot of resources to make. It's harmful to burn. It's hard to disappear. But it's one of those, well, I'm conveniently, I like this plastic stuff because it's convenient. Every day I need my iced coffee, which, I mean,
you don't need it. Your body just wants it.
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, like, why use plastic if it's an iced coffee, just use like have a thermos thing. Have a coffee store that's like, you can
paper.
bring in your own reusable cup
or
and they'll make their thing for you in your cup.
I've had that happen with personally, and like when I worked at a coffee shop.
True, you have some stake in this, I guess.
But places, then that's why a lot of places switch to paper because of foam.
Because of the biodegradable aspect to it, which is great. I agree with the recycling movement. I'm also not someone who probably would be able to instantly just cut out plastic in my life.
Hmm.
I get that. I mean,
I mean,
this
this.
is a plastic case after all.
Hey, you know what? A lot of things are made of plastic. Like,
But there's also just an aspect to it where it's like, what is the alternative though? Some people genuinely would be on board to like a feasible, inexpensive, cheap is inexpensive. I'm just using synonyms.
yeah.
There, there is there's a group of people that are out there who would love to have something that's better than plastic. They would swap over right away if there was something that was inexpensive, safe, and durable, and like good stuff. Basically, plastic if it can be safe for the environment, right? Somebody back in 2018, I think, or something, was experimenting with using banana peels and like the solution to kind of replicate plastic. And they did. They made like a banana peel plastic, but it kind of biodegraded in like 3 days. If they kept on that, developed it, we could technically have banana peel, which is a naturally occurring material, right?
Yes.
It's not plastic. Plastic is synthetic. It's lab made. It's not even a thing in nature. It's just compounds and solutions mixed together that happens to be a strong enough polymer, right? But
Right.
so like a lot of people believe that if we found just a substitute that is great for the environment, they would do it. They'd be fine. But there's also those people who are super set in their ways. Not even just talking about plastic here, but I mean, plastic is a good example of that. It's the no, I'm not gonna, I don't know, no, I'm not gonna give up my land for impoverished houses to be built on or
Hmm.
whatever because my land is my land. But
Yeah.
what we don't hear them admit is their land is only their land because they took advantage of a system that they had in place 30, 40 years ago that none of us today can even look at.
Yeah.
We can't buy land, or if we can, we have
Not
to be
now.
billionaires to do it.
If we were billionaires, bro, we don't even have to. We wouldn't even have to work.
I mean, truthfully, okay.
But
The economic system is a failure. It sucks.
yeah. Lately,
Capitalism, not even lately, the whole idea of capitalism sucks. The
it
whole idea
it does.
of the job life, work life, sucks. I I hear everybody, retort with, but we did it and it worked for us. I would even say it kind of doesn't really work for you.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, what was a very popular job back in the 50s, 60s?
I guess what coal mining.
Coal and like factory stuff.
Yeah.
The age of consumerism started in like the 50s, 60s.
Hmm.
I mean, in the 40s, I mean, yes, there were people who had like
Yeah.
cool, nifty new ice boxes that refrigerate your items.
Whoa.
Whoa! We still had to replace the ice every now and then or whatever. But by the 50s and 60s, they had full on like, my neighbor has a car, I need a car too.
Yeah.
I need to copy them. I need to fit in. I need that age. I need that stuff that I technically don't need because somebody else has it. Right? And the need to fit in.
Hmm.
That kind of never stopped.
Yeah.
Because as recently as, this year, even, technology, not even just technology, but clothing items too. Like, you remember the Supreme movement?
I remember
It's just a
Supreme.
freaking white shirt with the word Supreme, and that's suddenly a $200 shirt.
It doesn't. It's just. It's like I could probably buy that shirt like
I
at
could
Walmart.
infringe on that company and just write Supreme on it. And there you
I could just
go.
buy it. I could just buy a shirt at Walmart and write Supreme on it with a permanent marker, and there you go. It's a Supreme shirt. Hey, it says it.
This is never going to Goodwill because, this is too expensive. It costs $3 for the shirt and $3 for like a 5-pack of Sharpies.
Yeah.
But I digress with that. There is something about about like the economic stuff of today, and I mean the 50s and 60s didn't really help the case. The idea of money isn't really that great, in my opinion. It isn't a great system because what we're having is a lot of classism of you can't afford this thing, so we're not going to help you. It's taken away human rights. It's like the only way you can get this treatment is if you spend your life savings on something. Of course, that's America. The rest of the world, pretty much, it's either more cheap or free in a lot of countries. Just going north a little bit to Canada, free healthcare there. You could get a whole leg surgery. Like you could get your leg replaced, and it's either free or like, it's $100 for just a leg surgery for a leg replacement.
Yeah.
Imagine that here. Imagine having dual citizenship, right? You are both Canadian and American, right? Let's just say
American
that, right?
Canadian.
You're both of them. You belong to both countries. Of course, that also means your tax has to go technically to both countries too. But for the sake of this, if you are already, American and Canadian, wouldn't you just go to the doctor all the time in Canada, where it's like free or less expensive?
If I wanted to not spend money at all, I could just go to Canada and go to the doctor.
Somebody found out that it was a lot less expensive to book a flight to Canada or another country that has free healthcare than it is to spend one night in an American hospital. They go to Canada, get treated, and then come back less expensive than an American hospital.
Interesting. Well,
And that system is screwed horrendously.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Enough things to just piss away money, right?
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. A lot of people back in the consumerism days of the 50s and 60s, they did that.
Mm-hmm.
But they could afford to do that to a big extreme. They were able to, get the convertible, well, not convertibles in the 50s and 60s, but you get my idea. They were able to get the new cool cars and all the boom boxes of that day that can play, ooh, these cassettes are new, interesting, nifty things. Whatever. But they were able to copy their neighbors and fit in, but they were also able to also pay their loans for their houses. They were also able to afford a house with just a part-time gig at like a gas station.
Yeah.
You can't do that here now. Not in any state.
Huh.
None of the states are like that. The average income that you would go to like rent or like a home loan or whatever, like a house payment, that used to be 25% of the check or the payment that you used to, earn, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 85%. 85% is going to living quarters, whether that's a house or a dingy apartment on the wrong side of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It's still 85% of what you're earning for a closet that you're renting out that you have to duck your head in just to be able to fit in. That's still $1 million.
So it depends on it always depends on the town too.
I am getting upset. So you know what?
I
You get upset too.
Arrgh!
Say something. Say something. Rant about something. I can
While
go
we're
on
in
all day about just things. I didn't even say anything that I had on my prepared rant.
Back to the whole recycling topic.
Recycle, sure.
But this also does kind of relate to, I guess, relate to a hobby that I do.
Technically, I don't even think we finished the PETA stuff with like the prisoners and the signing up and the sky. But you know what? Let's talk about recycling still.
This does relate to photography.
Yeah, go ahead. Be upset. Be ranty. Come on.
There's so I guess in the 80s we got a product where okay, you don't have to buy a big $100 camera and get film. You could just get a camera that you could just use once and then send the whole camera to get processed. But however, over time, okay, this is like not a problem, but over time people just have this notion where use it once, it's supposed to get tossed out in the labs.
Is there a way for Polaroids to be reused and just reloaded?
Well, if we're talking Polaroids, if we're talking about like their version of a single-use camera back in the 90s, it would come with a mailer that you would send to Polaroid for them to reload. But when we're talking about like 35 millimeter, the lab is supposed to send the cameras back to the manufacturer to get recycled. But I guess with the consumer, Mandela effect, I guess people just assume, that's why us consumers came up with the term disposable camera, because I don't know, people just think you just throw them away, when no, that's not really what you're supposed to do with them.
A lot of people throw away things that they shouldn't
throw out
at all. Okay,
and even there's
a lot of food waste in America and the world. There's a lot of clothing and textile waste in the world. Like, you're saying that just because there's a shirt in this doesn't mean it can be sent to a fabrics, like a textile donation place. No, a lot of people are just throwing them away.
It's like you're not, like, that's why lately I've been seeing this trend of reusable disposables, which is just a generic thing with the name slapped on, but like, I don't know, you're not. Even there's labs that are making their own like reusable cameras. Like, we're here to kind of march for because disposable cameras create waste. When really when they were even introduced, the whole premise is you buy the thing, you send it back to the lab, then the lab's supposed to send it to get reloaded, recycled.
There's a similar thing that I've been trying to get you on board with. Similar topic. I mean, it's different, but similar in the idea that you're supposed to send it to somewhere and you get like a benefit back, right? And that is, I'm about to sneeze, but I'm just going to try to carry on and pretend that I don't have
to. People sneeze every time I talk!
No, but the idea of taking like cans and bottles back, right?
Oh.
They have a system for possibly some of you countries who don't participate in this, because America's not the only one. Like, New Zealand does it too. I know that, but I think Germany, but not too sure about the other ones just because I haven't looked so into it. But for those of you who don't know, taking bottles back can sometimes pay you a reward, right? Depending on what location you are in the world or country or whatever, right? You get the system is this. Technically, whenever you're buying a product, you are submitting like a little bit of a deposit. You are paying a little extra tiny, not tax, but another charge to the store that's kind of like a complimentary, you're carrying this item that I like type of deal. It's like it's it's just called a deposit. I don't really know how the system works, but if they didn't have that, it would be a little bit more expensive, I think. But the whole premise is you get charged a little bit, and the whole idea is
Oh,
you get to take it back and earn a little bit more from that thing. So when people are throwing away and
the
just
recycle
putting it in the
cans.
recycling bin or a garbage can,
I mean,
not even putting them back into the machine, into the system, which, I mean,
that's
garbage and recycling bins don't always do the right thing with their stuff anyway, but we don't even need to get into that
I've seen those
tangent.
machines before. Today I actually did rinse out a soda bottle that I
More
finished
soba,
up.
right? Cool, cool.
It's only a matter of time whether I even bring it to Costco or just put it in a recycle bag.
What brand is it?
It is Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. You could even just go to CVS. It's not even. It's closer.
I
You
could do
go to
that.
Stop and Shop. It's closer than Costco by a landslide.
It's just really more.
And you don't have to worry about the highway at that point
Yeah.
because you kind of have to get on the highway kind of for that one. For Costco,
Well,
chicken bake.
for double chocolate chunk cookie. Well, to be fair, I do live closer to Costco than you do.
That's true. That's fair, but
It's
but
still
regardless, the
see.
whole idea is in a lot of states, the states that don't accept the buybacks or whatever, the returns, I think makes their product a little bit higher. Um, it's kind of just an effort to get people to clean up the streets while also getting a reward out of it. Which lately, as of I think the 1st of January this year, Connecticut
Has been what?
Connecticut actually raised their price from a nickel to a dime. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's literally twice the amount. You can bring for just to illustrate the point, right? You submit, I don't know, 10 bottles 5 years ago, right? 10 of those bottles, 5 cents times 10.
5 cents and 50.
50 cents. Half a dollar. Yeah, it's okay. You do the same 10 now, it's a whole dollar.
Yeah.
It's 10 cents each. It's literally twice the amount as it used to be in, at least here anyway. Um, for a long time, like, I think Alaska and Maine were like the two ones for some reason who always got like they had 10 before any of us ever did.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a way to get additional money, and the fact that you see litter on the streets of any city, any town, any
Hey, you know what?
country,
Hey,
even
if
any beach
yeah,
in the middle of the sea. If you're on a boat, you can sometimes just see, oh, that's a plastic Coca-Cola bottle. It's just here. That sucks.
cherry.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
People.
on the surface level, people don't understand the idea of this plastic that wasn't even a thing until somebody invented it in a lab doesn't belong in nature. And it harms a lot of things. And it will harm you eventually. If you throw your plastic out there, finds its way into the water reservoir, the thing that you drink can have microplastics that coat your liver and makes you
Turns you into plastic, man.
turns you into an early grave.
Mm.
Earlier.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, people, I guess, underestimate how much. I mean, they could make. I mean, not a whole lot of money, but they can still make some money just by recycling. And
Thing is, though, you can make a lot doing it. It's just one of those things where it's like effort versus reward.
mm-hmm.
It's something where people are like, okay, well, I don't want to crawl underneath all these pricker bushes just for one more dime. But if you crawled under 100 of those in 30 minutes, then technically you got $10 in 30 minutes.
See, yeah, but no, right now I only have one bottle of like a empty cherry Coke bottle.
Honestly, I have three right now, so I usually just kind of fill up like don't know if you can see it from here. I don't think you can because that big hedge is kind of like in the way, but a big like you know stereotypical black trash can
Mm-hmm.
has wheels that don't really work that well.
Yeah, you
It
might have
has
to WD-40 it.
that lid that you can like lock in on the side. You probably understand the
Yeah,
ones that I'm thinking of, but
those like a
we
cart.
have one of those, and I kind of try to fill it up as much as I can before bringing it back. And that usually is enough for like a stereotypical white trash bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stereotypical Glad Force Flex or whatever, right?
Yeah, hefty.
Or yeah, hefty or whatever brand is the cheapest, really, because it's a trash bag. By the way, plastic bags, right?
Yeah, and guess what? What as of now, a lot of places either use reusable or paper bags.
But I mean, trash bags. Could they? They can be paper, I guess. You can
You
throw away
could.
stuff in your papers and stuff like that. But the whole idea of I'm stuck in my ways, so I'm not going to change things, even if it improves the world or the next generation. That kind of sucks. I want to try to make the world a better place for people who are, growing up when I'm 90. I'm not a 90-year-old. Well, I'm not a 90-year-old yet, but hey, knowing me, I'm probably not even gonna make it to 55. Yeah, right.
Well, yeah.
Morbid, but no, if I'm guaranteed a 90 or 95 or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm guaranteed that, I want to try to make sure that I'm one of the old people who are not gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna use all the plastics that I can. I'm just gonna throw away this microwave because
It's
it
like,
has some bad stuff in it. I don't care. I'm just
well,
gonna do it.
I mean, you want to be a wise old man, but you don't want to have our heads up our asses and act arrogant too.
That's true, but it's also like if somebody sees somebody being like out of the norm, some people get interested in that and they're like, "What's this person about?" That's how cult leaders get their rep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this one person is doing something so differently that I just can't help but be enthralled by what they're doing. And then
Then that's
different S pacts, S spacebar pacts, the big S that we were talking about
mm-hmm.
earlier.
Yeah.
Pacts happen where it's like, okay, all of us are going to join hands and we're all going to perish in these waters.
Yeah.
Self-done S's.
Sure. Yeah.
Just because they followed the
cult.
awesome ideas of this one person and kind of got brainwashed into it, which is what America's doing to all of us. We're being brainwashed. Neither two fucks give a shit about us.
It's really power.
Red versus blue. No, it's up versus everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Red versus blue.
Donkeys versus elephants doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
Cats versus dog.
Doesn't mean a goddamn thing whenever us fleas barely compare to them.
Sounds like we're... Yeah.
Occasionally a flea gets their bag. A flea bag, you get it?
Yeah.
But
this...
most of the time, most of the time David cannot defeat Goliath. Most of the time, the Titan is just here. And the most that David can do is maybe get here, maybe a little switch higher.
Mm-hmm.
But most of us Davids are down here.
Yeah.
Down here, actually.
Or actually, even down under.
6 feet under.
6 feet under, but...
Now, don't mean that as death. I mean, like if the roof is where the big billionaires are, most of us are not even on the floor below.
Yeah. Oh my god, this whole like division political thing does bring me into something that's coming around the corner for most of us. Not how about like how about every other time you get phone calls from state representatives or any political person? Hi, this is Senator blank blank, and it's I don't know, it's
Hi, this is a representative
the meatball.
of the blank blank party. Are we able to ensure your trust and your vote on November, whenever the frickin' thing happens?
November
No, November
45th.
November 45th, 1946.
I mean, I get they want people to vote for, but I guess in my personal opinion, it's just more of an annoying. It's more or less annoying, but
It's essentially the same idea as I don't know if I want to try a restaurant if they keep on, sending like junk mail, pretty much saying try our thing,
it's
try our
like
thing, try our thing
keep
every single
showing
day.
it my, you keep shoving it in my face. It's like now I don't want to vote for you.
It's the same idea as like maybe I actually wanted to go to their restaurant, right? Maybe I was going to vote for them. Whatever thing you
I
can
would
think of
have
here.
on my own
Maybe I wanted
timeline.
to wear that shirt. Maybe I wanted to do this thing, fly that kite, whatever. But the fact that somebody just says
What they're gonna do?
you should wear that shirt right now.
I don't want to
You
wear
should
that.
fly that shirt. You should fly that shirt. You should fly that kite right now.
What am I gonna
You should
get?
vote for me.
Ooh, what am I gonna get? Lollipops and gumdrops coming flying out of the.
Yes. No,
No.
but I have that thing where it's like, in my head, I might have an idea of, I'm going to do the dishes right now. I'm
Yeah.
going to do this chore right now. I'm not even going to need to worry about it.
If
But
I
then
vote,
somebody instantly, they're like, by the way, when are you going to do the dishes? Then it makes me, in my head, like, I was preparing to do them. Of course I was in my head. You had no idea what I was thinking. But now I don't even want to do them at all because I was told to do it. It's like I was preparing the whole morning. I was like,
I was already gonna
I'm
wash.
going to do the dishes today.
I was already gonna do them. I was like, oh, if I do it, I get.
Comes through the front door with groceries, being like, "You gonna do the dishes today?" And I'm like,
I do. Hey, if you get to wash the dishes instead of water coming out, you get strawberry milk.
"Now, here's a rant.
Is that a?
Whenever you turn it into something, I'm not talking about. No, that's not a real rant. I mean, like,
No, but
ADHD brain is something else. I get it. I zig and zag all the time too.
but
I still didn't finish my prisoner pill thing for earlier. I still haven't even talked about anything that I wrote down. I've just been
hey,
going on with this.
this. Maybe we can have a part 2 to this.
Like the part 3, 4, 5, 6, and
So
700. We could do a whole freaking series about this where we're just
we can.
ranking out different things.
It's fun when you're really it's more fun when you're passionate about it, but if it's really doesn't tickle your fancy, then really why is it worth ranting if it doesn't affect you?
If it doesn't tickle your fancy, maybe you need Viagra.
Right. Why do they need that? All you gotta do is look at something you like.
Well, maybe we would sound better if some of us weren't using their big, meaty
Claw.
claws.
Those damn companies want to
What
make
did you say, sailor? You big
me
chocolate cookie, right? No.
right, but no, but all jokes, but yeah, this can be a series if you guys want this. Heck, actually, I do have, well, yes, I do have some rants, maybe not right now going on, but in the future, if I see something that really pisses me off, I will vent to this.
No, honestly, we could go on and on and on and on and on. The only constraint is really time with this. If you have to go somewhere, then whatever, we do that. But I'm fine right now. Nothing's going on here.
Nothing
I'm going
yet.
to start another rant right now. You already have a little bit of an insight about this one, too. Because I sent a message about this. But you know what? I'm going to pull up the message first. I'm going to pull the message
What
up,
is
right?
this? Let me. Is it what I think it is?
This is probably what you think it is. Maybe. I don't remember what room I did it in, though.
Admin talk?
Was it admin talk? I'll try admin talk. Nope, admin talk. It's not Griffin and Riffit. It's not in that one. It's
Is this gonna be? Is this where we can? Is this where I'm gonna stop
okay.
the thing?
No. Okay. Okay. You said, let's see. Okay. You brought up the idea yesterday of the. Speaking of Minecraft, apparently there's a live action movie based off of it, right? Have yet to check the trailer until just a few minutes ago. I haven't peeped it up since then. I have seen it, but I haven't peeped it either. But I have heard of it. Just watched. Let's say it's a movie that you'll either really like or really dislike. Probably another Mario movie scenario. Maybe the gamers will understand all the references, but if a general audience watches it, it might not be as fun. Most likely. Just saw the trailer, right? So I genuinely do like the inclusion of Black and Momoa, right? Jack Black and Jason Momoa, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are, I would say, the perfect goofballs that can be in this role.
Like that is.
They are. I would say they were like typecasted for that. It's like they're perfect for what they were. The animation, some of it is kind of on the creepy side, but
I mean,
I think it's fun. I think it's fun over everything else, and I'm seeing all of these people looking at it critically. Which, yes, you can do that. You have your opinion.
Just another person
to it.
Just one other person's opinion, but
all these people are coming at it from like, but this isn't Breaking Bad. It's like a different thing.
It's a Minecraft.
This isn't the same as, I don't know, this isn't the Little Mermaid from 1995.
This isn't Wedding Singer from 1998. This is Minecraft the movie.
They're comparing it to things that are critically acclaimed and awesome, right?
Well,
no doubt about it. The start of Game of War.
I don't know what Game of Thrones.
Jesus. The starting of Game of Thrones was apparently one of the best things ever. They just fumbled the ending or whatever. We don't need to get into that, but they're being critical about things and comparing it to something that it isn't even like. Compare it to like the Sonic movie. Compare it to like the Mario movie, which technically isn't live action anyway. It'd probably be closer to like a CGI Sonic thing anyway.
It's really a movie for kids.
Right. A lot of the people who are criticizing it are the people who probably wouldn't even watch it to begin with.
People that like
this thing looks creepy. This thing looks.
That's why the Sonic design. That's why the Sonic design got changed when
it did get better, but it's still one of those things. A lot of people are like, I'm not going to watch it anyway, but it looks terrible. It's like, well, you're not going to watch it, so why does it matter to you?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my opinion. I'm like, why complain about something if it genuinely doesn't impact you at all? It's like you coming up to me and you're like, oh, somebody, I don't know, somebody told me I couldn't have an abortion. It's like, I don't think you can yet. Science hasn't gone that far yet.
Someone told me, oh, the McRib sucked, but I didn't.
Impact you.
Doesn't impact me.
You're not the McRib's father or something.
I'm not the scientist who created the McRib patty.
But regardless, continuing on, I think it has the Mario effect in action, where like I get all the references like as soon as I saw them because I'm kind of deeper into the franchise than maybe even you are.
I think it's like you and I are both in like the Mario franchise, but you're more into the Minecraft thing than I am.
I would say that's very fair. The only reason why I'm in the Minecraft universe is because of Mario, technically, because I saw like back when Super Mario Maker 1 came out,
Like
like
freshman
I was
year.
watching videos about that game and somebody making different videos and levels and stuff like that, showcasing them, right? So I got onto like a Mario Maker binge, and wouldn't you know it, some random British guy is making a level, and I liked his energy.
How do you know
Like,
he's not a cult leader just getting you into Minecraft?
well, he's actually one of the Minecraft YouTubers who are actually a good person because there's no drama that he was directly involved in.
Yep,
People around him were in some drama,
but he's
but he
always
cut them out. So it's like
consistent.
he was good for like a decade. I mean, he's toning it down because he ended his like Minecraft stuff like last year or whatever, and he's just trying to do something different, which is completely fair to do. Do that. If you're not a passionate YouTuber in the sphere that you once were in, pivot, retire, do something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not in it, then some of the audience isn't going to be in it either because vibes come off sometimes. But okay, so he was playing, Mario Maker 2, and then I was just out of nowhere. I'm like, I kind of like this guy's vibe. I'm gonna click on their channel. Then I find out they have endless amounts of Xbox, but endless amounts of like a Minecraft world, right?
Mm-hmm.
This person is Stampy Longnose, right? Um, very famous. He was one of the characters who were in the Minecraft story mode, which was like a side game sort of thing that Patton Oswalt was in too. Whatever. But it's just one of those things. It's like I'm only in it because he happened to play Mario Maker.
Yeah.
I also played Mario Maker 2 a little bit, and in that I cleared all of his levels too. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But no, it's
And then you went. Then you. Then remember you mentioned why you didn't like going to the movie theater.
that's the thing I'm gonna get to, right? So you're pretty much saying like this could be the first time in a while that I could see something in the movie theaters because it's been a while. It's been since like Moana, I think.
So like
Right?
high school.
Pretty much. Like my grandmother pretty much just passed away at that point, and of course
So then
the grandmother in Moana passes away, so of course that hits you like a brick.
it's
It's like
gonna hit you.
a month ago, my real grandma goes, and now I see a digital Disney grandma go, and I'm like, oh,
It's.
right.
I mean, the moment, yeah.
Hits you because
Hits you like
you just went through this thing. It's just like if I.
hits you like a frying pan.
It's just like if I gave you a movie about
like
a
what?
cat passing away when that just happened to you. It's like you're
It's like-
probably gonna be like,
it's like-
oh no!
It's like, how dare you do that to me? How dare you? It's like, how dare you remind me of my dead cat?
Fair enough. It's fun going for the experience, but it's not a means to an ends to watch a movie unless you're watching one for the first time, maybe in like theaters, right?
Eh,
And then this one, okay, big rant, which could kind of dive into
might just-
further and stuff like that.
I mean, I
I'm
guess
gonna be real. As I'm getting older, I'm finding the movie theater experience to be just a lackluster experience. There's always someone on their bright phone. There's always a group of people pretty much like talking through the whole thing. The prices are abysmal unless you go to them at a certain time, which screws over somebody with like a locked in schedule, which they can't go at those like matinee times or whatever. And don't get me started on the messes that people make there. People are messy. I mean, you see that just on the highway and stuff like that too, and
oh yeah,
in their attics, their garages, and sometimes their sheds. You see how messy some people can be.
I can just see how like the janitors there like always aggravated. Probably all the
It's
popcorn's
not
on the
even
floor.
it's not even janitors. It's literally the same people who are shoveling your popcorn. It's them who are cleaning it in most cases. It's the
Hmm.
same people you were just looking at in the concession line most of the time. I guess maybe some fancy schmancy ones might hire other people to do it instead, but regardless, continuing on. Okay, I get it. There is a neat experience seeing the big screen with like neat stories that infatuate you, right? But the experience is just getting more terrible every single time I go. I know the more expensive a place is typically might mean it's more clean or whatever, but that's just the thing. I don't want to spend $100 for a flick that I could just wait a few months and see for considerably
Comes
way
out on
less.
video.
It's not the same as seeing it in the theaters, I understand that, but it's basically the same. I don't need to feel my heart rumbling every single time that the T Rex stomps around in order to understand the gravity of that creature. Like, I don't need to feel it in my seat, right? In order to understand it. But, okay.
Eh.
Um,
And then
we could definitely do, a pod here that's just about us complaining about things.
I
I
mean,
remember you hosted the movie theater one before, but I don't think I was too. I don't think it was complaint filled, at least as much as this recording, right?
oh well,
We're complaining,
I
man.
will only say one thing I don't like is they want you to bring it. No, they don't. They want you to buy snacks from them because that's where most of the money comes from.
Right.
Like I could just go to the dollar store and get three, like or four of those the same snacks for that same price.
For the
That
same price as like a small drink, you get like 2 liters in like a big bottle. Like you get like all the I don't know smart pop or
it's the
whatever that you
only
ever
thing
could
I
get.
have.
Like you can get all the snacks
Like
next door
just
for
gotta.
considerably way less, and
They want. It's
it's just
ridiculous.
it is wild.
They just want.
But
It's just a way to get money out of you. But
even so,
other
just the ticket alone, it's ramping up a lot. It's to a point where it's like
people,
even if I want to see the movie, I kind of don't want to see it in the theaters. I want to stay away from it, kind of.
yeah,
Plus,
until
the one that I liked
on
is gone.
comes
It's
out.
not gone. It's not like ripped out, but like apparently it's closed, and I don't think it's opened since or whatever. You remember the one
you're
that's near that
you're
one
look.
pizza place that's near that one
Now
track
it's
place?
now it's a play theater.
Okay, that's fair. At least still keeping it in the entertainment arts and stuff like
They're
that.
still keeping the. It's just they're no longer showing movies, but they're doing plays. But
Which is fair.
it's cool.
That's fine. But they definitely did something that
Not like big
was
like
was unique. It wasn't just an AMC thing.
like
It
not
wasn't just a
Regal.
Regal, which is charging you up the wazoo. Don't even get me started about like renting chairs ahead of time. That's a fucked up system. I hate that.
I
I don't like that
yeah.
idea. Like in concept, it's kind of the same thing as like reservations at like a restaurant or whatever. But
Yeah.
the idea of oh, I'm gonna have 23A and 23B. I'm gonna do this
I've
with my whoever I'm bringing with me to the movies.
I've
I'm
no
reserving
yeah.
the seats, and I'm just gonna conveniently not go. What am I supposed to do?
Just wait for it to come out on
I'm
DVD.
no, I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the seats. What am I supposed to do? Not sit
I
in
don't
the
know.
empty seats that somebody reserved
You just
because they're not here?
bring your little Tykes chair with you. No, don't do that.
Oh no, I'm gonna break it if you do that. But, no, but like seriously, you reservations at restaurants. I'm more okay with because they will sit people in their reserved spot if it pretty much seems like a no show because they'd rather cater to 5 different parties than one massive big one. Because if that one massive big one doesn't even come in, then what are they going to do? Send to the other people who
Mm-hmm.
could be taking your spots away?
Um,
That's saying goodbye to
reservation.
their money because you're banking on, oh, that 20-person reservation might come in even though they're 5 hours late.
Yeah, that's where they get the big bucks.
Sure, like big parties like that, they do earn a lot, but at some point you have to call your losses and say, okay, they're not going to come. We will just reset back to the way it should be,
Defaults
like
back.
back to default mode, and just serve our customers like that. Our non reserved customers. Like, I get the idea. The idea is neat. Call ahead, plan it so right when you walk through the door, you know where you're going and you know you have a spot. I get that idea. It works when it works. When it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that system sucks. Really, I don't like the idea of the movie theaters adopting the spot reservations because it's either somebody booking out like a whole row, not showing up. It just sucks. The whole idea, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, really, just the best reservation you could do is
Like,
is in your home where you know where you're gonna sit ahead of time and you know that you could get I don't know, a thing of popcorn popped in your microwave. Only takes 2.5 minutes. You don't need to pay $20 for a small. You just watch it at home.
there you go.
It's not that hard. Like, I could see benefits. If everything goes the right way, then sure. A theater can be fun. It can be cool. It can be interesting seeing the stories that you really enjoy
I will
on a big
say,
screen. But it's just not great most times. Most times, it's getting worse. It's not the ideal most times.
at least not. I mean, it's now going there. It's you're just going there for like the fun of it, but it's also
That's the thing. I'm not getting the fun out of it really ever anymore.
I don't know. I guess what I will say is okay. There's not all these distractions other than the people on their phones there
People
talking.
talking.
Other than that, it's like okay. You don't hear the stove from your kitchen. You don't hear like food frying in there. You're also not getting people. You don't hear people screaming on their games, right?
Well, at the same time,
You
though,
still get
I
annoying.
don't hear really any of the stove stuff because
Well,
the way our layout is, we watch like movies
well, yeah.
in like the room that has the blackout curtains, and it's like away from all the kitchen action.
Yeah, it's like
Yours is kind of a different scenario because
you've
like that
seen.
TV is like 2 feet away from the stove, right?
Well,
It's like not
let's
too far away from the kitchen
yeah.
because
It's an example.
it is relatively more of a cramped location, right? Um,
I mean, you guys. It seems like it's an all-in-one built. Like you got the living room there, and then the kitchen's like in the same room.
not so. How do I say this without sounding hoity-toity? We technically have two living rooms. The one that you were looking at isn't
Well,
the main live. It's a weird it's a weird system. Is
I've only seen just.
technically that kitchen wasn't supposed to be a kitchen. Technically, it used to be just a storage room,
Mm.
and the kitchen used to be on top of the other, up those
Mm-hmm.
stairs, right up those two stairs that you saw, because that whole kitchen part was not a part of the original house.
Mm.
It was not a part of the original layout. It was like an addition. It stopped pretty much. You see, like the closest part of the house to us right now, where
Mm-hmm.
that door is,
Yeah.
right? That was the backyard wall, pretty much. This whole outcrop right here, new.
Mm.
Well, not new in our time. It was added with the previous owner, but like before them, it was just that
I see.
singular house.
Yeah.
So technically, we have two living rooms because of that fact. Because like we didn't want the kitchen and dining room but it's like also like we have the extra space that somebody added on, so why not use it, right? That's the whole idea of that. So um, it's it can be all in one, like you say, but typically it's not. It's not that. Um,
Yeah. I mean, you see,
yeah,
our living rooms. Just then we have our living room here, the dining room's over here, and then the kitchen's in that hall.
right. So you watching a movie, it will probably get in the way if
Like cooking something.
somebody's like.
Well, it's more of an example of what could
No,
happen.
I get it, or like
Yeah.
the same sound whenever somebody's like the sink's on or something. You could probably hear that whenever you're trying.
Yeah.
So your system, and here's something else that you kind of dive into like another rant. That's something like this, right? So because your system, the way that you guys do things, is a little bit different from the way that we do things.
Yeah.
It means that the way you solve things is going to be a little bit different from the way we solve things. If I want to watch a movie, I'm going in the far room, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might not have that option. Do you have like how many TV screens are in your house at any time?
I mean, for counting,
that are used, you know?
we have one. I guess technically 4, but there's really mainly the main stuff is like 3.
It's mainly the main one though. That main one that
in our living room.
That I watched 2 minutes of Sky High on your birthday.
I think it was like what?
Because your sister
Twilight.
and your friends were like, I want to watch Sky High. And then you're like, I don't want to watch that.
I don't.
And then I'm like, oh, Sky High. I would stay longer if I could.
Yeah, that's more example.
Because it's just like the perfect amount of silly. And that's the thing. That's one of those things. It's like silliness should be on a separate level from I'm seriously watching this movie critically, thinking about, I don't know, Pulp Fiction and how it does in comparison to that.
I think people
silly
can
and serious. There are different movie vibes. Can we just
enjoy the movie?
Say that like Adam Sandler movies are separate from like the
critically acclaimed Oppenheimer.
Critically acclaimed, sure, Oppenheimer's and like the Barbie is over here, the Oppenheimer is right here.
Yeah.
Even though they came out on the same day.
They literally did.
Even though they came out on the same day, does not make them the same tier, right? You shouldn't say that this one is F tier because you're judging it based off of the serious scale. That's like just go into any movie. If it's serious, go ahead and be serious about it. If it's silly,
it's silly.
Think about it as a silly piece of media, not judging it off the serious vibes. No, but what were we talking about before the whatchamacallit?
Movie theater?
Not the movie theater. Like it was during
Recycling.
that. No. Before the critic stuff that I was just saying, right? Before that, like the vibes and stuff. We were talking about the house and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that you solve the issue of I want to watch this movie, but everybody's in the kitchen making a lot of clutter. Maybe someone's washing the dishes with a noisy sink. Maybe someone's frying
Like
some
what? Like
meat or whatever, making a lot of sizzles and stuff like that. The way that you would solve it maybe is you might turn it up, but that might make everybody else be like, turn that thing down. We're having a civil conversation in here, and you're on your butt watching a show.
it's like, well,
Stuff like that,
well,
right? But
maybe if you weren't cooking your damn steak, I would have turned this up loud.
I am cooking this for everyone to eat. You are wasting your time. You're not even in the kitchen helping all three of us cook something. You're just the only one who's
You
out in the
never
kitchen
asked.
not helping.
Yeah, like
No,
that.
but the whole idea is a lot of people think differently about different solutions to different problems, right?
Yeah.
The way that I would do that is if I was, watching the TV in the room that's like right next to the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I would consider, oh, if the other one's free, you know what? Pause, turn it off, go into the other room where it's less likely to get, inundated with all of the sounds of the kitchen and stuff like that, right? Um, Typically, I don't get that pleasure though, because the other room, since it's more darker, is typically the place that my brothers go whenever they're doing anything. So if they're playing Overwatch too, they will be yelling at their teammates while I might be trying to focus on, something else, right? Right?
Yeah.
I had to take that opportunity because I saw it.
Mm. But
But yeah, like
oh man.
you might not have the ability to just go one room over and have a completely different sound experience. In that dark room, I pretty much could have close to the same experience as a movie theater. Of course, without the stereos, like, making me feel every step that T Rex makes, but still, like, it's a big enough screen, and if you're close enough to it, doesn't feel that different from like a movie theater's 70-foot one or whatever. Like, like that's the reason why I kind of brought that up was because maybe a part of why you really love the theaters is because that's the way you can get the entertainment done without, the kitchen sounds getting in the way, without the, I don't know, yelling at your
What cat?
your homeowner association president or whatever,
Sure.
your landlord, your mom yelling at your aunt or something saying your kid. Does your aunt have? I mean, you do have a cousin, so you know what? You're my nephew. Yeah, my nephew stole my roses from my garden again, and now your mom's yelling at you, at
If
your
that's
aunt or
like
something like that,
if that
right?
was an yeah, if that was the
It's
case,
obviously an example of like he's stealing my roses again, and she's just yelling about roses while you're in the so if you're at the theater, you would probably get a more zen experience
yeah, at
than
home.
I would. For me, it's comparing, it's comparing this phone to this phone with a white case.
Mm-hmm.
It's next to the same thing. There's one difference, and that's just the case color. For me, that far room gets the blackout curtains. It has a nice sound to it. If you sit close enough, it's a free a big screen. But yours, okay, okay. this tabletop is like 3 by like 2, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
in feet. I genuinely don't remember. It's been a while, and since it's here, it's made. It's fine. I'm not thinking about the measurements now, but I think our TV screen in that room is like this size around. Yours, I've seen it. Maybe it's half of that.
It's a 32-inch screen.
Maybe it's half of that. And this isn't trying to discredit, what you have. What you have is what you have. What we have is what we have, right? But what I'm trying to say is my situation is more comparable to a theater experience anyway. So yours, you probably want to go to the movie theater a lot more because of the fact that it's different.
I just like the idea of going. Just kind of like the idea of going out. It's like to see, like, watch something. Like, okay, this is a pretty good movie. I don't know.
But okay, I'll ask you this then, right? If you had in like your basement or something a soundproof room, it has dimming lights, it has comfortable seating, it has a decent sound system, and it has a pretty beefy screen, right? Would you still prefer the movie theater experience when it's pretty much in your basement?
Um,
Like, this is the hypothetical land where you pretty much have a movie theater in your basement. Would you still prefer going, I gotta
it
go out
depends.
for it, because it's better that way, even though it's the same thing?
Well, if I don't, I mean,
If you had the same setup as your
then
favorite theater in the basement,
and then
you would prefer going out to that same theater and not using, the one you already have?
I guess it depends on what I'm looking for. But if I have the opportunity to just watch it at home on my soundproof room,
Soundproof room,
popcorn machine,
dimming lights,
popcorn machine,
comfortable seats,
then
same setup.
then there'd be really no reason for
No
me
reason to go out. Right? That's what I'm trying to get at.
But
I don't think there's a lot of reason for me to go out, really, because that room is great. It is a great thing. It has the blackout curtain. It's not the same thing, obviously, but it has a big enough screen. It has blackout curtains. It has a decent sound system to it.
yeah,
And it's, I could grab snacks here
yeah.
for not $20 to buy just one Kit Kat.
No, that's why usually I don't. That's why I like to get my snacks not there.
But if they crack down on you and you're like, really, you
Once
can't bring
I
anything
did
in.
once. I think once I got caught. We got caught bringing stuff. So that's why I just put on a sweatshirt and, well, I don't know if I should admit this on here, but I do put snacks under my, like, hoodie.
A lot of people do shit like that. You're not admitting to like a high treason crime.
Yeah, but
And most of the time, they
it's
don't
like
give a shit.
for some
Most of the time, it's like, you know what?
whatever.
Just, I'm not gonna ask this person to lift up their shirt to show me their beef jerky that they taped around their chest or whatever.
I mean, it would be.
That would be harassment. If they didn't have, actually, even if they had snacks,
Even if it's ridiculous,
chest,
it's like
it's still irrelevant.
I don't want to spend $20 on just one Rice Krispie treat when I can just get maybe 5 of those for $20 at the Dollar Tree.
Which, like, honestly, a lot of people don't care about that because to them, at the end of the day, it's just
like they don't.
It's just
They're just going there.
It's just a position to them.
Just a paycheck.
They're getting a pay. A lot of times, they only care about that if it's the strict manager or if it's CEO day, where like the big head honcho is coming in for a visit. Then they'll crack down on the things that the book says. But the next day, as soon as CEO man is gone, okay, we don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to clean the bathrooms as as exquisitely anymore. You don't have to give, the customer, like a high five and a smile every day.
It's a great.
You can flip them off if you wanted to today because the
That's
CEO
why.
guy's not here.
That's why these guys go undercover. Hence the show Undercover Boss.
Undercover boss. Let me tell you, I want so badly to find a CEO that I look exactly like, and I just like put a fake nose on and I pretend I'm the undercover boss, and they just treat me like either shit or garbage or awesome, and then I just be like, well, actually, I am Frank Howard of the Howard Corporation. I am firing. Do I have that power if I look like somebody? Would somebody believe me if I fired them
if
from
they.
a position I don't even have the power to get rid of?
I don't think so.
That'd be so awesome, though. You'll look exactly like somebody,
But-
and you're like,
But do you sound like the same guy?
it's actually just a Russian guy who's like, oh, Pidgeotnov. Oi,
Fired.
oi.
But,
Das ist. Okay, that's German now.
regardless. It'd be fun to
No.
go undercover. Heck, maybe if our channel gets big, hey, maybe we'll go undercover to see how our editors are doing.
I just dress like Skipper's mom. I'm like, you don't hang out with me and your dad anymore. And you're just the dad. You're Skip's dad and Skip's mom.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel, Skip? You're older than us, but we're your parents.
Yeah, that would be funny. But yeah.
But what if we did a convincing job at it, though, where it's like we actually fit in? We studied for like 2 months straight every single thing about the Skip family.
Mm-hmm.
Every single aspect, so we blend in with our mind, but we also get the mannerisms of his parents. Do you think he would know if I was his mom and you were his dad?
I really have a hard time thinking he would believe that.
What are you talking about, Skip? Here's my impression of your mom right now that I've never met in my life.
You know.
Oi, Skip! You're grounded. How did I do?
You sound like a pirate than anything.
Oi, Skip! You're walking, you plague!
Arg!
I'm walking here.
You scallywag!
Just like her, right?
Oh yeah, you get an Oscar award for that.
Oh, lovely. Right?
As long as he's not slapping you like Will did to Chris Rock.
Keep my wife's name
out your fucking mouth.
So you know Smosh, right?
Yep.
So they have Smosh Mouth, right, which is like their podcast, right? And they did a prediction, like I think the 1st of January or whatever. They wanted to do like 2024 predictions. So because they sometimes struggle with the idea of like resolutions, because like resolutions are dropped a lot of times. But predictions, they can predict things, and it doesn't even have to involve you. One of their predictions involved something to do with that. Can you guess what one of their predictions
Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Can you guess like what? I think Shane's the one who predicted this one, but what do you think they could have predicted about that?
Oh.
News about that coming out this year.
They make amends. He's back in the. He's back into making movies.
The thing that they predicted was in 2024 we would find out that it was actually just a publicity stunt, and it wasn't really, it wasn't really a harm intent. It was just to get people talking about it. It was a staged thing.
But so I guess maybe it did. Maybe it was.
Actors, they can stage things.
But we only look at it from the outside. But
we see it from the outside.
But who knows?
He got slapped. Or he slapped, or she's a homewrecker.
Will Smith.
She looks like G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane. Uh-oh. She instigated Will to smack him.
Keep my
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Oh, we're definitely
rewind. We need to bring that shit back. Because there is not a thing that YouTube did ever before that and since that everybody was on board with something.
Mm-hmm.
We need a rewind back.
We do.
It needs to be shitty, needs to be bad, needs to be terrible. It needs to include it needs to include all of the problematic YouTubers so that we can cancel them even more for all the crimes that they've done, but then we're supposed to, for one day, just pretend that, oh yeah, they're just cool people who are dancing to Gangnam Style again.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have you. You've been doing this, and you've been doing this, and you've been doing... Yeah. I feel like I lost you.
Oh. But yeah, I did rant about the 3 things, though, that I have written down.
We ranted about one. But I also ranted about, other things that just kind of...
So honestly, if we want to do a part 2 for this, I think we can.
We could do part 2s and 3s and 4s and 5. Maybe we'll even have more rants than Hollywood Walk of Fames.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll see, but...
By the way, Hollywood... Okay. Let's talk about Hollywood for a second, right? Mr. Hollywood. This one goes out to you. You're a great person, and you should probably let us into your premises because we deserve some of the fame that you have to offer, Mr. Hollywood. I mean, for starters, we are 2 white, maybe straight men. We have time to plan that stuff out.
We have literally all of eternity.
We are 2, let's just say we are 2 white men who deserve all the popularity in the world, because that's who gets every resource in the world, right?
Yeah, definitely.
White men get everything, and we should be part of
white
that
privilege.
System. We should be part of that system too, Hollywood. So maybe you should call Chris Pratt and get him in. Get him into the show, actually, right? Get him into a fucking podcast. That'd be fucking sick.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
We'd just be like, we actually spoke to Chris Pratt, not clickbait.
Hey, I can at least now say, oh yeah, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, we spoke to Chris Pratt.
Yeah, he had followed me back on Instagram. Actually, I unfollowed him. Actually, he still follows me though, which is kind of interesting. He's still actually commenting on every post that I made. Right?
Like, oh wow, nice podcast, boys.
Mario approves.
Yeah, I can. I know he would prove it. And what's next? We're going to be talking about Garfield.
Okay, the thing we need to do, right? And then this could either stay in. Honestly, keep this in, right? As long as it's still recording, right?
It's still recording.
Okay, right. We can keep this in. So, what Ludwig once said before. Famous streamer. In fact, I think I think Kai Cenat probably took his place, but one of the most popular Twitch streamers, or maybe YouTube streamers, or whatever in the world, right? One of the most famous streamers that if you've never heard of his name, then you are living under a digital rock, right? But have you heard of Ludwig?
I have heard of Ludwig.
You've heard of Ludwig. Because, probably Moist Critical once said something about him in his poopy little diaper, right?
Yeah.
This just like pooping in your diaper.
Pooping in your diaper?
But no, on a serious level, this is, no.
But I have heard of Ludwig.
Oh, yeah, you have heard of Ludwig, right? Okay, so what he suggested, because he did an experiment where he was, kind of going undercover on like a YouTube channel, right? He
Yeah.
just started one without, telling anybody, and he managed to grow that thing, like faceless content. He managed to grow that thing a lot, right? He grew that to a point. And then he revealed, like, yeah, it was run by me. So this is to prove that you don't need to be popular in order to do this type of thing.
Yeah.
You can get traction just by knowing how the system works. However, the thing that I can say about that is not everybody knows how the system works. You're pretty much saying, like, okay, Ludwig, you did this thing for 5 years pretty much straight. You know how the system works and you know how to game it. You're asking the person who's pretty much a pro already to go against two numbskulls who
Mm-hmm.
are just shooting shooties,
Sure.
shooting shooties up your booties. No, actually, I should say that as Charlie. Shooting shooties up your chooties. No.
Uh-huh.
Just
Yeah.
like the shooty
Like
poopies
he,
in your poopy
just like he
booties.
done that. Yeah.
No, but
Uh,
for real though, he grew that thing because he knew what to do. The two of us, we don't necessarily know what we're doing. We know what we, have fun with, and
I mean,
we
yeah.
we try to do, different recordings
Other like
every week, but at least every month, at
at
least.
least every month, but lately, we've.
Lately, we've kind of dipped a little below. But honestly, this goes back to, like, there was like this experiment that somebody did, like a law school or like a business school graduate or something decided to, you know what, I'm going to put away all of this money that I have. I'm going to move to a different country, and I'm going to pretty much start with little to my new country name. So they're like already, famous and rich or whatever, or rich at least, but they're starting over like a new business or something. Here's how a billionaire goes from zero to a billion again. The
Sounds
thing
like
is, a lot of people don't already have that business mindset, though.
not
The
everybody.
guy graduated top marks of business school, and he's saying anyone can turn their life around. No, he graduated from business. He knows what business is.
Not.
How do I, from nowhere, who didn't go to college, just do business stuff? And it's like they're saying, oh, everyone can turn their life around.
But
Not everybody knows how to do it like you do, right?
yeah.
You, Mr. Business graduate.
Unless you
guy.
choose to go to business school.
Which, I mean, like, there is something to that, right? You can learn things and you can try to turn your life around and stuff like that. You can. But a lot of times people need the thing now. They need the thing now. They don't want to go through 8 years of school in order to maybe understand how to do all of this stuff. They want to open the business today, not knowing anything, or next to nothing. They might be a little bit smarter and get like a financial advisor and like someone who maybe already is established in like business. But a lot of times they don't know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing if I start a business necessarily. I mean, we look from the outside in and we're like, huh, they make some cool shirts. If we make cool shirts, we would do so. But even if we got the best thing in the world, we'd have to compete with people who are stealing designs and, making our things for a cheaper price. We'd have to deal with how do we make sure that our product is the thing that everybody talks about
Yep.
versus not. But it's just wild. This is crazy.
Yeah. But yeah. Regardless. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Remember we talked about pets earlier?
Right on. Um,
I'm
we ranted about a lot of things.
yeah. So
I couldn't even say how much we did. It was probably like 10 or 11 or 12.
we
Um, how long was this going on for?
almost an hour and 30 minutes.
Hour 30? That's
I
cool.
think I am. Then plus the other recording, which may add it up to that, it might be an hour and 40. But
That's fair.
I
That's
think
fine.
so. Yep, this will be its own separate thing.
That's fine.
I guess I will. Thank you all. Thank you all for making it this far.
We're still doing a free conclusion.
No, but
Jeez.
thank you all for making it this far. Who knows? But nah,
Whether this is a pod, whether this is just something.
it's just ranting. It's just us ranting. But
I'll say this for sure though. We were in person this time. Yay!
yay!
Cool.
But and
that way we're not speaking over each other every single second.
yeah. And by the way, gentlemen, my phone is on 15%, so we are stopping the recording now.
Yeah, sure.